What happens when you take James Gunn, for example, hire him after Marvel says no to him, and then tell him that you can take any obscure character from our universe, make a rated R movie about it, and have at it? Ladies and gentlemen, what you get is Suicide Squad. Welcome, fellow your pothead Joe Pop Puttyman here, and today we'll be reviewing the new movie, The Suicide Squad by James Gunn. Now, this is going to be my spoiler-free review, so don't worry, no spoilers ahead. Now, before we get started, I need to ask you a few favors. One, if you can, please hit that like and that subscribe button. Two, if you did enjoy this movie, or you just enjoy this review altogether, I need to ask you one other favor. Well, if you're a Fortnite fan, currently Bloodsport from the Suicide Squad is in the Fortnite item shop. And if you have plans to actually purchase the skin, then please use my supported credit code. That's Puttyman _ Puttyman with an underscore at the end. Hashtag ad. Now, what's going on is they are doing best they can at trying to, I guess, repair the universe when it comes to DC. And I love it. I love what they're doing. I love that James Gunn took over this, and they went really, really obscure with this movie. It's not for kids, I will say that, so I have a lot of viewers that are going to be like, aw, but it's because it's a very violent movie, a very adult movie, a very funny movie, a very dark movie, a very enjoyable movie. I really loved The Suicide Squad. Now, I am one of those that fanboys over things, and I do technically probably am fanboying over this because of some of the characters I saw. But there's a few things I want to go over when we get to the Easter eggs. But understand right now, I want to tell you why sitting down and watching this movie will make for a pleasant evening. As far as reviewing it, it's an amazing, fun joyride. It's dark, it's funny, it's James Gunn. Like, it's basically saying, what would you do if you took Guardians of the Galaxy, made it DC characters, made it really dark and gory? That's what you get here. But unfortunately, you don't get the cutesy. So if you're looking for cutesy here, there's no cutesy. And honestly, it's not really Guardians of the Galaxy, but you can tell by the way things are in this movie as far as visually that it has a very, very James Gunn taste to it. And of course, it is James Gunn. Without a doubt, this was one heck of a joy. I'm honestly a little bit upset that I didn't see it in theaters and just did it in HBO Max, because I feel like this deserves more than me just watching it on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, while it's on there, take the time to watch it. It's definitely worth it. With that being said, my final score for this movie is 9 out of 10. I loved The Suicide Squad, and I tend to like a lot of movies, but I think for the first time, I can say with utmost approach, this is actually something enjoyable. If it gets bad reviews, I'm actually going to be shocked. It was one of those things when you watch a movie and you tend to look at the time or see how much longer you have, you lose, then it's not really good in my eyes. If you lose track of time, then it's much different. After I checked and saw it was 2 hours and 12 minutes, I didn't even realize 2 hours and 12 minutes actually went by. And you got to keep in mind, I'm pausing here and there to make notes of time stamps and things of that nature for spoilers. So, yes, this is a great movie, and it's a very enjoyable movie. You need to take the time to see it while it's on HBO Max. But with that being said, guys, I think it's time to go into, honestly, spoiler territory. So with that being said, this is the spoiler alert, even though you really can't see it too well because the red of Suicide Squad. So make sure that, you click off of this video right now if you don't want to see any spoilers. And I'm rambling now. I had plans to do a whole section of all the characters and get the information prior by going through the casting list through things like, IMDb, and then do an in-depth analysis of each character by giving you their abilities, where they first appeared, big clashes they might go through. And I'm going to show you something real quick that I usually don't show when it comes to my reviews. So this is my scripting, so to say, all right? Where I'm talking about the first comic, so on and so forth. And then you see in bold the actors and the roles they play, things of that nature. And as you see here, we're already at like 5 or 6 characters. But then something happened. And keep in mind, I was using IMDb as a resource. I suddenly realized there were characters missing from the trailer. Ratcatcher 2, King Shark, and Thinker. Let me show you what I mean. So when you go to IMDb, you'll see that it shows the top cast. All right? And you'll see characters like Javelin, which, by the way, Flulula Borg is a funny guy.
This is not Game of Thrones!
And Pete Davidson here is a great comedian. As I went through this, I realized there was no King Shark, no Polka Dot Man, no Thinker, no Ratcatcher 2. I was like, where is the rest of these cast? And then I said, well, maybe I need to go ahead and pull up, because there's a lot of characters, and I realized there were a lot of characters. Then something happened when I pulled this up. You see, the cast is huge. And here's what happened. As I'm going through this and looking through the cast, I noticed characters like Astronaut, which does apply to a character that first appeared in the first Suicide Squad comic. It wasn't even called Suicide Squad, but the first Brave and the Bold comic book, so on and so forth. But as I went down here, I finally saw stuff like Polka Dot Man's mom, things of that nature. Here's what caught my eye. There's a character that I remember when I was actually like a young adult. It was around 2000, 2001. I can't remember exactly when it was. But when I saw the name, I realized they are James Gunn. They literally gave James Gunn everybody to go through. Understand, what you're seeing here is a full cast. And a lot of these characters are actual characters. Like, we do have, like, Sebastian Rat and everything, which is Ratcatcher, part of Ratcatcher and everything. But the one I wanted to show you was here. Right here. Double Down. Okay? Double Down I remember distinctly because Double Down is a character. Okay, I thought they had obscure characters with Polka Dot Man, King Shark, Javelin. Then to know, and by the way, again, I still haven't seen this movie. This is recorded prior. Double Down is a character. The character's name is Jeremy Tell. He's a con man gambler who gains powers with a cursed deck of cards that are now bound to him. And that's when he became Double Down. This is a Flash villain, and it was around 2000. Actually, no, 2001. Here it is, right here. That he first appeared, okay? Now, the reason I bring this up is because, as I stated before, I was going through and getting first appearances of each character, their real names. And as I went through this rabbit hole, and by the way, if you go down here, you'll see I went to Thinker, King Shark, Ratcatcher 2, wrote those down, and then when I realized, wait, Double Down is here? Double Down. So I decided to grab it, but then so sorry, like names from comic book characters, some that I never even heard of because I'm a DC fan, but not a big DC fan as I am a Marvel fan. But my God, the open book they allowed James Gunn when it came to characters. Honestly, I don't know how my reaction into the review is. But if he did it perfectly, to see so many characters, honestly, if no one else does a breakdown by the time the weekend box office comes out and so on and so forth, and you do enjoy my review, I want you at this point to comment below full character breakdown. If I get enough people to do a full character breakdown, I will do it. I promise you I will do it, okay? Wait, Sean Gunn plays Calendar Man too? Calendar Man is literally a Batman villain, guys. What? Now that part's out of the way and I explained why I'm not going to go through every single character, which again, there's still a lot. And if you're here now, then you clearly know that just in the first few moments of the movie, people die. And I mean, I actually wrote down a death list of people that died, and the first team consisted of Savant, TDK, Captain Boomerang, Javelin, Mongol, Blackguard. Of course, we thought also Weasel, which of course, if you saw the end, Weasel didn't die. These are big name actors that played these characters that just suddenly died. Bravo to DC and James Gunn for saying, "Hey, listen, we're just going to kill off these characters. We're just going to kill off these characters quickly. These are characters that we're just going to throw away." And even some of them, I don't honestly feel they're throwaways. Honestly, here's the thing with characters like TDK and so on and so forth that come from obscure areas of the past, to know that you come into this thinking that you're going to see maybe one of your favorite comic book characters, and then, oh, they're dead. They're dead. They're dead. So, with that being said, I was planning on going through just some Easter eggs that I felt was fun. Now, I stated earlier that there were so many obscure characters that I named one called Double Down. I didn't find him. I literally did not find him in the movie. I think he's in the prison scene, and I just didn't see him. Okay, which is okay, but it was kind of frustrating. The one, on the other hand, that stood out to me was Kaleidoscope. Now, Kaleidoscope is a very, very abstract character. Kaleidoscope is a character that basically can create hallucinations and illusions based on her kaleidoscope. Looks, her coloration, things of that nature. She first appeared in Superboy number 26 in December of, I think, 1962 or 1982, I'm thinking. No, 1962, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, that being said, it was a very obscure reference to find. The next one is Calendar Man. Now, Calendar Man was actually played by James Gunn's brother, Sean Gunn, and he actually plays Weasel as well. So we interrupt our scheduled review, however you want to look at it. I'm such an idiot. Holy crap. I was so obsessed with seeing Calendar Man that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not noticing it right now, the guy standing beside Calendar Man is Double Down. How did I not notice this? I was literally going through and getting images for my review of the Easter egg characters, and there's Double Down staring me in the face. It's unprecedented to know that I was so focused and shocked to see to hear that that the James Gunn's brother Sean Gunn was playing Calendar Man, that Double Down is standing right behind Calendar Man. This is Double Down. Right here that I'm circling. This is Double Down. God, I love this review as well. So, technically, he played two characters, both living, that could continue on. Amazing. And if you don't know who Calendar Man is, Calendar Man is actually a Batman villain that came out in Detective Comics number 259. And quite enjoyable the way they did Calendar Man, even though he's really quick and he makes fun of Polka Dot Man, which leads me into Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man was changed for this movie. In the comic book, he actually makes his own suit that shoots the polka dots, and each one of the polka dots has a special power. Each one of the colored polka dots. So they definitely changed it and gave him more of a dramatic storyline where it's not like an infection, but it's a crazy, crazy storyline that I want to see continue. Give us Polka Dot Man as a movie. I want to know his origin story. Could we get a Polka Dot Man movie, please? Most obscure character, but most loved character, and I feel like, I've seen his mom as Starro, which we'll get to in just a little bit, was crazy, and I would like to see more of Polka Dot Man. Don't you think? If you do, type Polka Dot Man in the chat. We want a Polka Dot Man movie. Type Polka Dot Man in the chat, or we want a Polka Dot Man movie. I just need you guys to type it. If you agree with me, we need a Polka Dot Man movie. Then the last part I want to get into, which in my eyes is a big, big, big part of this movie, and really set the tone for why I enjoy this movie and also understand the difference within the realm of this movie. Next, we have to talk about Starro. Starro was a character that was actually went against the Justice League. Okay, he first appeared in The Brave and the Bold, number 28, where he actually went against the Justice League. And in the comic books, he does share the same abilities as you see in this movie, but the movie definitely has a much darker approach. When we get to the science room and you see the obscureness of them taking over the bodies, them dissecting, but then showing what happens when you take off one of the little starros off the face and see that it's literally the body's dead. It's just eating off its face and using it as a vessel. I never thought I would see a Starro or see Starro in this way, in a very, very dark approach when it comes to this movie or just in general when it came to DC. And so here's my thing. I understand keeping things like Justice League very lowbrow, not having the violence. But for DC to say, "Hey, James Gunn, go ahead and take one of our biggest villains and a very iconic comic book image and use it in your Suicide Squad movie." And boy, did it work. Like, to see this colorful Starro on the screen and then to see his dark approach or its dark approach towards human civilization and the way it takes over and it's just very dark was amazing. I'm so excited for what they've done here. And honestly, uh, you know, I hope DC understands. Like, I'm starting to see that DC has a better understanding of taking things in a darker approach with Joker in this movie. That I feel like that's what they need to do with a lot of their movies, and then keep the sunnier side for the other stuff like the Justice League. Don't try to be Marvel, and when you don't try to be Marvel, you get this, which is really kind of funny saying that now because James Gunn made Guardians of the Galaxy. Anyway, that's it, guys. I just wanted to go through a few Easter eggs. I know there's a lot more, and as I stated in the other part that I recorded earlier, if you guys want to see me do a full breakdown, sharing this, liking this, doing a commenting breakdown below will also help out in getting this. But again, it depends on all how powerful and the views are with this video, because I'm definitely okay with rewatching this movie and like combing through it for every single character, every single Easter egg, everything. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Again, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Again, if you're planning on buying the Bloodsport skin in Fortnite, then please use my supporter creator code Puttyman _ that's PUTTYMAN with an underscore at the end, #ad. And as always, I am Puttyman with Gamer Potheads, and do not forget, we're all about the high score. Peace out. I'll talk to y'all later.